All right, guys, I mowed about half of my yard, maybe not quite half, and I will mow the worst half. Where I was cutting down stuff a few weeks ago and cutting up all those logs and limbs, there's bark. Where we were dragging that stuff, there's lots of gravel that's been plowed up from pulling it, and I haven't even lifted it up yet. You guys are gonna see this with me. And make sure my gas is shut off. Okay. It's nice thing about this little snapper is it's not too heavy. All right, now when I started, that string was just touching. It was just touching right here. And I mowed about half my yard, and it's about the equivalent of 2 joints of my finger off there. Now this one right here is way worse. But like I said, I was running over some pretty nasty stuff. Like I said, I was just curious to how much it had used. So it's used, this one over here is a little bit more, that one down there. So this one down here and this one are about the same length. And this one is a little bit shorter, and this one's ripped plumb off. So and I was amazed at how far it was throwing it out there. Now I was throwing rocks, but they didn't have the power that they would normally have. So that makes a big difference to me. But I was amazed at how far out of the chute over here it was able to throw, and it was mulching pretty good. Here, let me fold this thing up a little bit. I got a new tripod I'm trying out today. My wife got it for me off Amazon. But let me show you now this is what the grass did look like right here. Let me get down here. It's not real thick and stringy right here. And it's not as good as if you were using a steel lawnmower blade. I promise you that. I was going full throttle with it in first gear, which is pretty slow. But as you can see, it was whacking it up there. Whoops, let me go the other way there. There we go. It was whacking it up. And it's not as pretty as a riding lawnmower, with a steel blade, but it did a pretty good job. And, the other day we cut down this great big tree, and you can see where we were dragging these logs. And so I had a lot of gravel. Well, you can actually see ditches from us pulling those logs. And I ran over this big old root right here, which I've never done before because I was always afraid I'd hit it with a blade. And I drove all the way up here. Well, you can see where I was plowing through the dirt right there. We were pulling these big logs over here, so we were really tearing the ground up. But the area where I did run over the leaves, it mulched them up pretty good, kicked up a heck of a lot of dust. But I was running over stuff like this big old piece of bark right here, and you can see all the stuff in here I was running over. So I was abusing it. I was doing it on purpose. I wanted to see what it would do. But there was quite a few leaves like this, and you can see it mulched them up pretty decent. And this over here, this grass right here is fairly sparse. There's a lot of gravel underneath this. You can see the gravel mixed in with it. This area used to be really soft when I very first bought it, and I just dumped gravel on it so I wouldn't get stuck, and it helped a lot. But now the grass is coming up through, and I want it to be yard. And I was mowing it a full inch shorter than I've ever mowed it. I usually mow it on 4, and I was mowing it on 3. So there was a lot of stuff that I've never hit over here before. But like I was saying just a minute ago, see how this groove is right here. So there's dirt or gravel on both sides that's mounted up. I need to get my steel drag back there and come up here and drag all this. I just haven't had time. But my grass is the thickest right here in this little area. There's a septic tank. I'm standing on top of a 55-gallon drum septic tank right here. And the lateral line is about 2 foot deep right here. Plus, all the drainage from up there all runs right here. So this gets a lot of water and a lot of sunlight right here. And so this was the thickest grass I've got is right here on this side of the property. And it did a pretty decent job. And then like I was saying, you can see the leaves the leaves that I ran over. See, just like this. I was running over sticks and just all kinds of stuff. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just telling you why I think the blades wore out so quick. First time at 3 inches, and I was hitting a lot of gravel and rocks and sticks and stuff that I drug up recently. But the nice part about it is it'll throw them, but it doesn't have the power to throw them very far. I'm sorry, I'm watching where I go when I'm not looking at the camera, and this is a new tripod, and I'm trying to get it all adjusted and everything too. But anyways, I just thought I'd show you what I had there. I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 new strings to that, just to, I may go ahead and just replace all 4 of them, because I've still got to do from here all the way over there behind the car. I got to move the Jeep and do that, and then I've got a little bit on the other side on mine and my cousin's property. So I may just go ahead and replace all 4 of them. Heck, I may just put 8 of them on there and see what that does. After I get through doing this, I'll bring y'all back and show you what I come up with.